All right, y'all. Welcome to this breakouts video. The sizing didn't work out too well, so we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully, we'll be able to record it. So I'm going to go over some theory first. So in this setup, we're going to be looking for time-based breakouts. So we're going to be using some smaller time frames, something you might not be familiar with. So don't be scared. I'm going to cover everything here, and it'll make pretty easy sense, and you'll have to practice it and follow it. So for the first setup, the time that we're looking at is Central Time 8:30. This is bond open. This is 9:30 Eastern Time. So what we do is at 8:30, the main strategy is we're waiting, and then obviously the time isn't going to line up, but we're waiting about 30 seconds. And we'll go look at some real examples here in just a sec too. So 8:30 opens. We want to wait for the first 30 seconds that forms. So say price trades, say it opens at 8:30, it trades down, and then it trades up, and then it trades down again, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to frame that range, whatever high and low it makes. So we frame that up until 8:31. So we're really just looking at the 8:31 candle or the 8:30 candle, right? The 8:30 candle happens, we frame it, and then right at 8:31, we're going to set our orders. Now, the order that we're going to sell or that we're going to set, we have the high of the range and we have the low of the range. Now, in this setup, we're looking for both. So I like to use the metaphor. It's just like stepping out into the ocean. You're kind of just letting the tide take you where it goes. So 5 seconds before is generally where I set when I set them, and I'm going to set a buy stop here at the top, and my stop loss. You could either put it 50% or 25. I really prefer using that 50% on the smaller ranges because that 25% can get wicked a couple times. And we're looking as a TP for a one extension of the range. So you can see I measured the range and put my trade at a one extension. Now for the shorts, we'd be doing the same thing. If it broke out, right, we're setting our TP at a one extension and our stop loss goes either 25% or 50%. So price, say it trades around. We're just looking for a breakout setup. Now, then we can choose the TP here, move our stop loss to there, and you can start looking for more extensions, right? This is a setup where we don't necessarily have a set TP. Yes, the one-to-one is a good target, but at the end of the day, we really just want to trail our stop on this setup, and the setup happens very fast. So this will be the basics of the setup in general. Now, it'll just be time based. So instead of drawing this out again, I'm just going to go to the 250 time that we use, and that way we'll look at an actual price example. You'll have a better understanding probably of exactly what we're looking for. So let's go look at yesterday's trade. So we're going to go to, like I was telling you, it really you can use the 1 minute chart. It probably makes it easier to spot, but when you're placing your orders, it can be a bit difficult. So the times are going to be 8:30 Central, which is bond open, and then we have 250 Central. So right here, as we're getting into our real price action example, so right here is the 1449 candle. So that would be the 1 minute candle that we're going to frame. So we'll frame the high of it to the low of it and run it out. Now, let's go down to that 5 second chart. Let's see, where were we? I think it was yesterday. Okay, so right here at 250, price is going to break out. So we measure the range from 1449 up until 1450. And then you can see right there, just like we were saying, the market does trade pretty aggressively. Now, again, how are we gonna go about this setup? Let's actually do the where's the replay trader? Let's do the replay trader so you could see it before. So this is 1449.55. This is 5 seconds before our setup. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to place a long above the high. we'll do stop loss, just call it 50%. And then TP, we'll be looking for about a 1-to-1 of that range. Now the same thing on the short side. If it breaks out to the short side, we'll take that short, call it a 50% stop, looking for 1-to-1 of the range. So let's see what happens. So we trade. Look, price triggered us in a long and then immediately stopped us out. So that setup's done. Now price has put us in a short and they did not stop out right there. They traded below, came back, closed, opened right here, no wick to the upside, and then just ran down. Price hits our TP, and then at that point, we can begin looking for extensions of the range. So this one hit. What we could do now is we could move our stop either to that level or at least break even, but I would move it to that level. You might have to wait for one wick to come back before you move it, but this one really just ran straight there. So we get to our next TP and then straight to the next TP. And you can see if you moved your stop there, you would have got taken out on this candle, but it did trade a little bit lower. And so you could have got a couple extensions out of that. These are a bit harder to hold. We just look for this movement here, and then we're out. Let's go look at the bond open one, and then we'll be done for this basics video. And we'll probably make another one in the future just as like a recap. Okay, so here's bond open. So again, we want to wait for that to happen. So right there is 8:30. And again, we wait until the 8:31 candle. So right there, the 8:31 candle opens. So that means our range for bond open is from here to here. And again, it's very similar. Or it's actually, the exact same. Stop loss, and this is what I was talking about. It can be 50 or 25. You see how this range is a lot larger than the others. So I'm more comfortable here with a 25% stop rather than a 50 because I know if it stops me out at 25, I can, get another entry and enter there. Now I think for this setup, after about 3 entries, I think you really should stop because the ranges can tend to chop and be dangerous. But there you can see the one extension gets hit. Didn't quite make it to the 2 extension, but if you'd have drug your stop loss up after that tapped, you would have gotten taken out right there, but was a nice 4-to-1. Then it did come and sweep those lows. What I would not do, right? This is a setup that we only trade during the breakouts. I would not, even though you can see it working here, I would not draw this out in time and then go short, right? And put my stop at whatever this, 25% of this range and target a 1-to-1 extension. I do not think that that's a good idea. This is the only way we use this setup. It's a quick scalp. It generally happens in less than a couple minutes. You can see this one triggered at 18:31:30 and hit TP clearly by 18:34. So about 2 or 3 minutes on this one. But this is a really great setup if you are going to be day trading and scalping, and hope that this is helpful. If you have any other questions or if I left anything out, make sure you ask us on stream. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.